I mean, one of the frustrations I've had in the 6 weeks covering them is this notion of trying to sort of connect it to Raptor history. I don't think very highly of history in general in sports. Like, you look at the composition of that roster and those 5 guys that are on the floor, and it's like they just don't resemble anything even remotely like last season, much less 3 seasons ago or 4 seasons ago. And so,
agreed, but generally we've seen the Raptors not get it done on their home court before.
But what does that mean? Who are the Raptors? The Raptors are. We've seen DeMar DeRozan and like CJ Miles. Who are these guys?
I agree.
It's laundry.
But I saw it in 2012. I saw it in 2000.
But it's what I'm saying. But what did you see, Brian? Well, you saw a thing with like a little dinosaur. There's nothing. It's not Kawhi Leonard. It's not like Marc Gasol. It's not what did you see?
And because they have those guys now, I'll tell you something. I saw a team just like I saw when I went there for a closeout game. I've been there for many playoff series.
Right.
Just like I saw when the Nets were in there, I saw a team that was afraid.
But my point is, but what did you see? You saw there's literally one guy from 2012.
But I also think there's a general inferiority complex that exists in Toronto when it comes to
those are fans. Right, but at the end of the day,
but I know, and I can't explain it. But for some reason, it spreads to the team.
I think it's an illusion. I think it's an illusion.
Well, then it's a set of circumstances that continue to be the same for a long time.
Can we make a brief aside here, Kevin? I feel like Brian's Cleveland roots showing a bit here. Like, what is the power ranking of fatalistic fan bases?
I mean, the Raptors. I'm 2 years in a row. I was there for series. 1 year when I covered the series and they played the Wizards and got blown off the court. The previous year I was there for one of the games where the Nets beat them, just completely eviscerated them, even though they were lower seed. And I saw the Cavs cut their hearts out multiple times there, including Game 1 last year. And so Kevin is correct in that. It's different teams, different years, different. I don't think it was the same coach for most of the time, but different personnel, etc. But it weighed on them, and when I did a big piece on their inability to win Game 1 going into the playoffs last year, and I interviewed fans, team officials, players, and I got 15 different explanations of why they could never win Game 1, even though they were almost always at home. And I just came to the realization that it was just a thing that hung over the organization. And I can't show it to you on a spreadsheet. I can just tell you that it was there.
I will acknowledge that it hangs over the fan base. But there was a really interesting moment, and I'd have to go back, and I don't have it right now, way back to the Orlando or whatever it was, or actually it was the Philly series, because they won their Game 1 against Philadelphia. And they had lost against Orlando the previous round. And I remember Kawhi being asked about it, and he was just utterly confused. I literally don't think so here was the player who has the maximum influence on the outcome for the Raptors. I mean, more than the GM and the president of the team. And once you get onto game night and the ball goes up, I think it's fair to say that Kawhi Leonard has the greatest amount of influence on whether the Raptors win or lose. And he was asked about it after the game by one of the local reporters, and he was like, And he was just confused. Like, he didn't really understand. He's like, well, what history? Like, and it was kind of a beautiful crystallizing moment of the dynamic I'm talking about. Like, I do think what's beautiful about sports is we have this collective memory as a fan base and for that matter as media, and it's part of the written history and oral history for that matter of the sport. But then it's like you actually have the events. Anyway, I mean.
Okay, well, they have Kawhi now. I guess we could sum this up by saying they have Kawhi now.
Yeah,
so, but they do.